Have you ever noticed that as we get a little older, and perhaps have more time to ourselves, what truly matters in our lives begins to shine brighter? We start valuing our peace, our quiet moments, and the genuine connections that truly uplift us. But here's a painful reality that many of us face sometimes. The very people who drain our energy, steal our joy, and disrupt our peace are those we've known our entire lives. Even our own family. It's a tough pill to swallow. Isn't it the idea that some relationships, no matter how long-standing or close, might actually be holding us back from living the vibrant, joyful life we've earned? It's not about abandoning those we love, but rather about a profound act of self-preservation and self-love. It's about recognizing that as we step into this golden chapter of our lives, our well-being becomes paramount. We've worked hard. We've raised families. We've navigated life's many storms. Now, it's our turn to truly flourish. And that means being fiercely protective of our inner peace. In this video, we're going to bravely look at 5 types of people. Yes, even family members, who might be stealing your peace and joy. And why it's absolutely vital for your well-being to create distance, or even completely step away from them as you embrace your golden years. And make sure you watch all the way to the end, because I've got a powerful truth that might just surprise you about taking control of your happiness. Now, let's dive right into the first type of person who can truly poison your peace after 60, often without even realizing the profound impact they're having on you. This is the constant complainer, or the eternal victim. You know the type, don't you? Every conversation eventually circles back to their problems, their ailments, the injustices they've suffered, or how unfair life is to them. It's as if they carry a dark cloud over their heads, and they desperately want you to stand under it with them. They're not looking for solutions. They're looking for an audience, someone to validate their perpetual state of misery. They might be a sibling who calls daily to lament about their aches and pains, even when you try to offer helpful suggestions, or a longtime friend who always has a new story of how they were wronged. After 60, our energy is a precious commodity. We're not as boundless as we once were, and our time feels more valuable than ever. To spend that limited and precious energy constantly listening to negativity, without any attempt at finding a brighter perspective, is genuinely draining. It's like trying to fill a bucket with a hole in it. No matter how much positive energy or advice you pour in, it just seeps away, leaving you feeling depleted and often frustrated. You might find yourself dreading their calls or visits, making excuses, or even feeling guilty because you just can't bear another round of their endless grievances. This isn't just about feeling a bit down. Constant exposure to negativity can genuinely impact your own mental and even physical health. It can raise your stress levels, affect your mood, and prevent you from enjoying the wonderful things happening in your own life. You might find yourself internalizing their pessimism, or feeling a sense of responsibility to fix their unfixable problems. So, what can you do when faced with a constant complainer, especially if they're family? The key is setting boundaries, gently but firmly. You might start by limiting the duration of your conversations. When they launch into their usual litany of woes, you can say something like, "Oh, I'm so sorry to hear you're going through that. I wish I could talk longer, but I've only got a few minutes right now." Or, you can try redirecting the conversation. "I hear how challenging that is for you." On a different note, "Did you see that lovely sunshine today?" If they persist in steering back to their complaints, you might have to be a little more direct, always with kindness. "I love you, but I find myself feeling quite drained after our calls when the conversation is always about difficulties. For my own well-being, I need to focus on more positive things right now." Remember, your role isn't to be their therapist or their human punching bag. You can be empathetic, but you don't have to absorb their negativity. You have a right to protect your peace. It might feel uncomfortable at first, especially if this is a pattern that's been established for years. But trust me, Your well-being is worth that initial discomfort. You're not abandoning them. You're simply choosing to preserve your own emotional health. You're teaching them how you need to be treated, and you're modeling self-respect. Now, as draining as the constant complainer can be, there's another type of individual that can be just as insidious, if not more so, especially when they come bearing gifts of guilt or demanding your attention relentlessly. Let's talk about the guilt tripper or the manipulator. Often closely related to the bog self-centered demander or energy vampire. These individuals use your sense of duty, your love, or your past kindness as leverage to get what they want. They make you feel bad for saying no, for pursuing your own interests, or for simply living your own life. Perhaps it's a grown child who constantly asks for financial help, implying that if you truly loved them, you'd provide it, even if it impacts your retirement savings, or a sibling who reminds you of all the favors they've done for you whenever they need something, implying you owe them. This type of person often makes you feel responsible for their happiness, their problems, or their choices. They subtly, or not so subtly, twist situations to make you feel like the bad guy if you don't comply with their wishes. After 60, you've likely spent decades putting others first. Your children, your spouse, your career. This chapter of life is meant to be a time of reclaiming your independence, pursuing passions, and enjoying the fruits of your labor. When you're constantly manipulated by guilt or demands, that freedom is stolen from you. You end up feeling resentful, trapped, and perpetually obligated. The emotional burden of saying yes when you desperately want to say no can be immense, leading to stress, anxiety, and a profound loss of personal agency. You might find yourself sacrificing your own plans, your limited energy, or even your financial security to appease them, all while feeling a knot of resentment in your stomach. It's a vicious cycle where your kindness is exploited and your boundaries are consistently ignored. To deal with the guilt tripper or the self-centered demander, recognizing their pattern is the first crucial step. Understand that their guilt trips are a tactic, not a reflection of your worth or your love. Learning to say a firm no without explanation or justification is incredibly empowering. I'm not able to do that right now. Or, that doesn't work for me. You don't owe them a lengthy explanation for why you're declining a request. Because explanations often open the door for more manipulation or debate. Remember, you have an absolute right to your own time, your own resources, and your own choices. If they respond with disappointment or anger, that's their reaction to manage, not yours. If it's a family member, you might need to have a more direct conversation, always emphasizing that your decision comes from a place of protecting your own well-being. I love you, but I need to set some clear boundaries around my time-Taj finances now that I'm retired. I can't always do everything you ask. For the energy vampire, who constantly takes your time and emotional support without reciprocation, try to shift the focus back to a balanced conversation. If they only talk about themselves, gently interject with, "That's a lot going on for you. How are things with my new garden project?" If they don't pick up on the hint, you might need to limit the time or frequency of your interactions. You've earned the right to have relationships that are reciprocal, where you feel valued and supported, not just perpetually drawn upon. And speaking of not recognizing your worth, let's talk about the next type of person who specializes in making you feel less than, or subtly undermining your confidence. This is the critic or the belittler. This person consistently finds fault with your choices, your appearance, your opinions, or your lifestyle. They might deliver their jabs with a sweet smile, disguised as helpful advice, or they might be overtly dismissive. They chip away at your self-esteem, often leaving you feeling inadequate or foolish. Perhaps it's a sibling who always comments on your weight or your clothes, suggesting you should really try to lose a few pounds, or that outfit isn't very flattering, or a friend who dismisses your new hobbies as childish or a waste of time. Why would you start learning pottery at your age? Even worse, it could be an adult child who treats your opinions as outdated, or your life experience as irrelevant, making you feel as though you've lost your ability to think or decide for yourself. After 60, you've accumulated a lifetime of wisdom and experience. You've earned the right to be confident in who you are and what you believe. When you're constantly subjected to criticism, it undermines your peace and makes you doubt yourself at a time when self-acceptance and self-love should be paramount. This constant negativity can erode your confidence, make you hesitant to try new things, and ultimately steal your joy. You might find yourself second-guessing every decision, feeling self-conscious in their presence, or even avoiding them altogether because of the emotional toll their comments take. It's a subtle form of abuse that, over time, can severely impact your mental and emotional well-being. You deserve to be surrounded by people who uplift you, who celebrate your strengths, and who respect your journey, not those who constantly find fault. When dealing with a critic or belittler, one effective strategy is to limit your exposure to them. If you can't avoid them entirely, due to family ties, then practice deflecting their comments. You don't have to engage with every critical remark. A simple, "Is that so?" or "I'll consider that," can often shut down the conversation without escalating it. You can also directly, but calmly, call them out. "That comment wasn't very kind," or "I don't appreciate that remark." Sometimes, people aren't even aware of how critical they sound. But more often, they are. The crucial thing is not to internalize their words. Remind yourself that their criticism often comes from their own insecurities, their need to feel superior, or their discomfort with your happiness and independence. Their words are about them, not about you. If the comments persist and make you truly uncomfortable, it is perfectly acceptable to end the conversation or remove yourself from the situation. "I'm not going to listen to negativity today." Or, "I think I'll go enjoy my afternoon." Your peace is more important than their need to criticize. Surround yourself with friends and family who genuinely support and cherish you. And you'll notice a remarkable difference in how you feel about yourself and your life. Now, all these types can be incredibly draining. But there's one more that's particularly insidious because it often wears the mask of concern, while subtly undermining your freedom and growth, truly impacting your independence. This is the controller or the overprotective individual. This person might genuinely believe they are helping or protecting you, but their actions often stem from a need to control or a fear that you can't manage on your own. They try to dictate your choices, undermine your independence, or make you feel incapable, subtly, or not so subtly, infantilizing you. For example, it might be an adult child who insists you can't live alone, questions every financial decision, or tries to manage your social calendar, even when you are perfectly capable, or a sibling who tells you who you should or shouldn't spend time with, or what activities are too risky for you. They might say things like, "Oh, you shouldn't be driving at night anymore," or "Are you sure you can handle that trip by yourself, even if you're perfectly confident and able?" They project their anxieties onto you, robbing you of your autonomy and making you feel like a child again. After 60, you have lived a full life, made countless decisions, and navigated myriad challenges. You deserve to maintain your independence, your self-determination, and the joy of newfound freedom. When someone tries to control your life or makes you feel incapable, it robs you of your self-worth and the very essence of what it means to be an autonomous adult. This type of relationship can lead to immense frustration, resentment, and a feeling of being trapped. You might find yourself rebelling against their control, or conversely, becoming overly reliant and losing your own initiative. It steals the very freedom you've earned in retirement, preventing you from pursuing new interests or simply enjoying your life on your own terms. Your life is yours to live, not theirs to manage. To deal with a controller or an overprotective individual, you must clearly and consistently assert your independence, This means stating your right to make your own decisions. I appreciate your concern, but this is my decision to make. Or, I'll ask for your input if I need it, but I'm quite capable of handling this. Sometimes, you might need to educate them on your capabilities. Explaining why your independence is so vital to your well-being. It's about setting very clear boundaries around your personal space, your choices, and your life. If the control becomes overwhelming or truly harmful, seeking professional help, like family mediation, might be necessary, but more often than not, it comes down to trusting your own judgment and decisions, and consistently communicating that you are a capable adult who deserves autonomy. You might have to repeat these boundaries many times, and it might be uncomfortable, but your freedom and peace of mind are non-negotiable. Remember, your independence isn't just about practicalities. It's deeply tied to your sense of self and your overall happiness. So, we've talked about these 5 challenging types of people: the constant complainer, the guilt tripper and manipulator, the critic and belittler, the energy vampire, and the controller. I know it can feel daunting, especially when they're family, because we carry so much history and emotion with these relationships. But remember, this isn't about cutting everyone off in a fit of anger. It's about a profound act of self-preservation and self-love. It's about protecting your precious peace and joy that you've worked so hard to cultivate. Recognizing these patterns in your relationships is the incredibly brave first step. It takes courage to evaluate your closest connections, especially those with family, and decide that some shifts need to happen. But here's that surprising truth I promised at the beginning: sometimes the greatest act of love you can give to yourself, and even to others, is to create space. Because when you guard your peace, you're not just helping yourself, you're modeling healthy boundaries for everyone around you. You're showing others how to treat you, and perhaps even inspiring them to protect their own well-being. You deserve to live your golden years filled with genuine connections, with people who uplift you, who celebrate you, and who bring light into your life, not those who drain you dry. Small changes in how you interact and the boundaries you set can make a profound difference in your daily happiness and long-term peace. You've earned this chapter of peace and joy. Have you encountered any of these types of people in your life? What strategies have worked for you in protecting your peace, especially with family members? Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Your wisdom could truly help someone else who's struggling with similar situations. If this video resonated with you and brought you some helpful insights, please give it a thumbs up. It helps us know we're creating content that truly matters to you and helps others find it. And if you haven't already, subscribe to our channel and hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on more practical advice and uplifting conversations designed to help you live your very best life at every age. Remember, your happiness is non-negotiable. Go out there and cultivate relationships that uplift you, that nourish your soul, and that celebrate the incredible person you are. Live your best life at every age. Truly.